We've got another episode of We Don't Color on the Dog. We've got Chad Henderson. We're on the county commission agenda this week is there. We're finally may have a deal on OLF 8, 42.5 million. Chad, I know you're with your son taking a vacation right now, but thank you for coming on right today.
Well, Rick, always happy to join you and certainly always appreciative of your interest in anything that we've got going on. So no, thanks for inviting me.
Well, OLF 8 is very important to Escambia County. That's the last piece of tract of land that is right on the interstate that has huge potential. I mean, it's a almost a 3-decade process of getting to where we are today. This wasn't an easy negotiation, was it?
No, certainly it hasn't been easy and times have been a bit cumbersome. But I think if it wasn't such an important, impactful, and special piece of property, then there's a lot of different stakeholders with a lot of different viewpoints, and certainly every one of those stakeholders as they are passionate as they should be about how this comes together. So. You're right. It's taken a long time, but hopefully we're at a point where we can see a clear path to move forward.
Well, the thing that's always interested me about y'all's proposal was that there's been a lot of misinformation. I mean, the agreement that's before the county commission this Thursday really incorporates the master plan. People were worried about, will the town center go away? Will it, is it going to be all industrial or is it going to be all residential? And y'all have taken an approach that the master plan is critical to what y'all are offering.
Yeah, I think one of the things, Rick, that we have focused on in in the last several months leading up to this is that there has been a statement that has been made throughout the back and forth conversations that we and other parties and other folks have said the spirit by keeping the spirit of the master plan. And one of the things that we worked really hard over the last few months is try to explain what that means. And so there have been meetings with each of the county commissioners to really showcase really what that means of keeping this within the spirit of the master plan. Look, Rick, I mean, there are some items within the master plan that need clarity. And that's what we were really pointing to about when we were thinking of augmenting the plan. It's really to present more clarity around the plan. But at no point, were we shying away from notions of town centers and job creation alike. I mean, we're keenly focused on those.
Well, Chad, one thing that excited me about you've put together a team, and you have got a group of partners in this deal that have done this and understand how to develop uh, a development that is multifaceted. And talk a little bit about that, because I think that kind of gets lost in the mix too.
Right. I think, part of the process or the curation of the team was done so in a mindset where we were bringing skill sets and experience to the table that help to move a project of this magnitude forward in a way that presents kind of quality and a focus on the desired outcomes that we're all after. We talked about in presentations and in past conversations about the importance of creating, a beating heart of Beulah, a heart of Beulah in a town center that would have things like walkability and experiences that create human connectivity and curating uses that are of kind of placemaking, intentional about being in placemaking and creating quality experience where people want to spend, time and hard-earned money and create, memories and spend time with the people they want to be around. In addition to that, we've also talked about how job creation was at the forefront of this project from the very get-go and trying to create the right jobs. what we have done with bringing in the Wilson family and Will Wilson and team, they have a long history of with experience of executing on projects just like these and getting the desired outcomes that all the stakeholders want. So, like we talk about what they're doing up right now in Redstone Arsenal up in Huntsville. I mean, it's just an absolutely fantastic a project that they have worked on for the better part of 15 plus years, and now there's 8,000 plus jobs and great jobs with great companies that we would all love to bring to Pensacola. In addition, they have experience in creating walkable communities that have a host of other job creation opportunities, residential, civic aspects to those projects, retail, and then if you layer in what we've been able to do at Catalyst, I think within kind of the health and wellness realm, also in both of us, having a very deep bench as it relates to capital partners and access to capital. I mean, Rick, this project is going to be a massive amount of capital when it's all said and done, and you got to have the access to that capital and the right partnerships and the right skill sets to bring to the table to make sure you can execute on that. So curating the team is something that has been very important to us. I mean, if you think about also the addition of Ashton to the team and his background of what he was able to do and experience that he brings with the connections and network in state and local governments and even at the federal level, that I think would be very important for a project this size, because we're going to have to interact with a whole host of different agencies, and those relationships are important, and they
And I think for this is a lifetime project, Chad. Let's be really direct. You've done some amazing developments around the country, and here in Pensacola also. But this is a lifetime project, and I can't think of, if you're going to do a lifetime project for somebody, it needs to be somebody that's committed to the community. And your personal story, Ashton's story, to bring the Wilson group involved is important. But this is for you. You want to have somebody that has local roots involved.
I'm glad you said that, because I could not agree more. And as I mentioned to one of the commission meetings, I grew up on the west side of Pensacola, going to Pine Forest High School, Longleaf Elementary. I mean, with my family that lives out in this part of the world, recognizing up front that this project is of huge significance, and not only Pensacola, but all of Northwest Florida and the region. I mean, it's just a fantastic, opportunity, and that is something that I certainly, Ashton and the Wilson team does not take lightly. We realize and recognize how much this is going to mean to a lot of people for a long, long time. And so I feel like this is a great honor and opportunity if we can get this across the finish line in the coming week, to get it done and to go to work. And so we're excited about it, but I couldn't agree with you more. I think having those local ties and then tying it back to the community and understanding that it's a much bigger picture than just a project here. We're impacting a lot of lives and a lot of people involved, and we're thankful for the opportunity. And again, it's something that we don't take lightly at all.
And this is a unique piece of property. That's the other element. And I don't think people really completely understand. This is right on the interstate.
Mhm.
It is developable land. It is ground ready to work with. Escambia County has nothing like this. There's nothing. We can talk about the bluffs. We can talk about Ellison Field. This is the last piece of real estate of this magnitude that is sitting right on an interstate exit. And we've got to put it in the hands of people that understand the magnitude of this.
Well, I again couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if you think about the proximity to growth, infrastructure, everything that's going on within Northwest Florida and also within South Alabama, Baldwin County, given the proximity to all the growth, coupled with the connectivity to infrastructure, ingress, egress, all of the things that you would want, gives it a real competitive advantage for being successful in an outcome that we all desire, which is again this notion of creating the beating heart of Beulah, plus a lot of job creation opportunity. I would argue that it's one of the best pieces of property, way more than just locally in our community, but even much more broad regionally. Opportunity to have that much of developable property in proximity to such already great projects like Navy Federal and the great residential projects that have been done around the area that's created density. And with the population growth and all the story that we have to tell within Northwest Florida, it's a fantastic and very unique opportunity.
Well, and the issue, and I've covered this, gosh, probably almost 10 years now. And we look at this and I understand this is a critical piece of property for the residents in that area, definitely for Navy Federal, and definitely for the community and the county as a whole. And that's tricky, Chad. I mean, and I think that's the advantage of having the master plan as sort of as the guide stops of how to develop it. You've got to be committed to the community to pull this off.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, one of the things, and I've said from the get-go that, I'm kind of standing and the Wilson team and Ashton, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants. And, people like, Jim Cronley that carried the flag for so long that made even this possible. That is not lost on me for 1 second. I mean, there were visionaries behind this that got it to where it was. And we're very honored and thankful that we could be the one to help carry it forward and being very intentional about executing on the plan. I mean, the master plan certainly has some great critical aspects to it. I would say, though, when the master plan was being created, that they were missing a very important element to that, and that was the developer at the table with that understood all the capital risk associated with putting a plan like this together. So when we're talking about small augments, but staying within the spirit of the plan, we're talking about creating clarity and clear paths that would showcase an ability to get the right type of capital involved. Again, for projects that create the outcomes that we're after. Certainly, we haven't been shy about saying that why we believe residential is a certain component to this. We believe that also, mixed use, a mixed use node that's a beating heart coupled with the right job creation efforts really is what this is all about. But you're right. I mean, there's a lot of stakeholders, and I'm certainly appreciative and respectful of everyone's viewpoints. As we talked about earlier, I mean, there is a reason to be passionate about this. This is unique. And a lot of us come from different viewpoints and experiences, and I respect all of those. I think, and I think with what we're proposing to move forward, we are certainly listening, and we've been great listeners, and we'll continue to be great listeners, because in a project like this, it is, it's a partnership. It's a partnership, an ongoing partnership with leadership in the community.
Well,
And
and Chad, the worry that I think the commissioners need to have is they need to have a developer that's committed to the project. Because I have watched over 20 40 years living in this community and 25 years with the paper, is people will get this kind of property and they'll flip it. They'll give it to someone else who will actually do the development. And what's unique about what y'all are offering is you're here for the long haul. You're not trying to figure out, I'm going to get the deal and then I'll give it to this home developer, and I'll give it to this person, and then I'll make my money. I don't have to put any money up. At closing, I'm going to flip all the money, and I've never put up a penny. Y'all are invested in this project. That's a little bit different here.
100%. I mean, from the onset, our team has been keenly focused and intentional on the execution of the project with the desired outcomes in mind. We said at the very beginning that we want to be the one throat to choke, right? I mean, so, meaning that, that there should be a master developer held accountable and be a steward, of such a fantastic gem that we have in OLF 8 in this community. And so 100% right. I mean, we're committed. I'm from Pensacola. I'm going to continue to be in Pensacola, so I have nowhere to run and hide if this doesn't go.
I know where
I'm
your
not
office
moving.
is. I'm going to be
Yeah,
there.
you know where my office is. So we're in it to win it. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more challenges and problems that come. I mean, if it was easy, everybody do this, right, Rick? So I think we got to, we just got to remain focused and be and really be intentional about what we're doing with the right capital partners, the right users. All directed towards, again, I keep saying it, but the desired outcomes that we all know and want. So.
Chad, I appreciate you taking time away from your family to do this, but with the vote right on top of us, I felt like we need to try to do it today. So thank you for doing it. When you're back in town, we'll catch up again, but thank you for doing this today.
Rick, I'm always, again,